Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today in London out with my Lamborghini Huracan STO to go car spotting and see what we can find. It's been a while since I explored the streets of the city looking for the latest supercars, but today I have heard there might be a Bugatti Chiron about, so let's see if we can spot that a little bit later on, fingers crossed. Now I'm filming today on the new Insta360 Go2 cameras, which are tiny and super lightweight. They come in the multifunctional charge case. The camera is minuscule, it's magnetically held to various different types of attachments. You can see we've got the suction mount, we've got the cap mount, a Savage Garage cap for the purpose. They're also waterproof to 4 meters, although thankfully the weather seems mostly on side today here in London. So let's hop on board the Lambo, get on out on the roads and go see what supercars we can find. You can see I'm currently walking around, but the stabilization and horizon leveling is brilliant, as is the image quality and color, especially when you have a car like this, the STO in the wildest configuration I could possibly choose, with viola bast and the giallo accents, which even on a day like today where it is slightly overcast is looking extraordinary. This car is so ridiculously wild. It is one of the first times that I've actually had it here in central London at all, and even though we do have a 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10, we're going to be driving respectfully and saving that for the racetrack, like at Donington Park recently, where this thing was moderately epic, to say the least. Today, though, is about what we can find around on the streets. Now, of course, we're in Hyde Park at the moment. Over that away, we have Knightsbridge, South Kensington, some of the dealers, and hopefully lots of cars. And over that away behind me is Mayfair, the heartland of central London when it comes to finding things like this. So let's hop on board, get out on the road, go see what we can find, and go spot some supercars here in London. Let's do this then and bring you along point of view for a drive in the STO with the key. Handles pop on out, and inside the STO is a lot of carbon fibre and Alcantara. Let me swing right down in here super low to the ground. Wow, what a place. Right, flick this up. One press for the ignition, foot on the brake. Second press, let's start the V10. Oh yes, and as you can see, I am using the camera on the cap here. So, let me get my seatbelt on inside this car. You're so low to the ground, the windscreen is super raked and you can't see anything out in front of it. Pull this up into reverse, with the reversing camera on the main driver dashboard as well, and then pull the shift paddle to go into first. Now we're in STO mode, Super Trofeo Omologato, which is the normal mode for this car, but a little bit more hardcore than in the regular Huracan, and softer of course than the Trofeo mode, which we have in here. But basically automatic gearbox, smooth, gentle, and at slow speeds, obviously valves closed on the V10. Actually when you come to a standstill, they open and it's a little bit louder, and obviously if you drive hard over 4,500 RPM, you get a lot more of that. But here in central London, we're not going to get a lot of that. Anyway, we've got the lever just here to pull for the front lift system, which is going to be absolutely compulsory for getting over some of the bumps here in the centre of town. Off we go then, down this way to go and see what we can find. I'm going to keep the lift up, which you can do at 20 miles an hour or so, a little bit faster, because otherwise we're going to be grounding out in just a moment. What's that in red just there? BMW i8. You don't see many of those in red actually. Looks pretty good. Much more suited car to where we are here than what I am currently driving, where we have, yeah, everything that's not friendly for a car like this, with a very low front splitter. So we will rock and roll on this away. I have high hopes for finding some pretty epic stuff around today. Eyes peeled everywhere we go, always on the lookout, because you never know what we might find about. Always around any corner. Stop start, obviously. Could be something cool. In fact, what's coming towards us? That is a Ferrari F12? What are we looking at? California. See now. California T. Cool. Good way to get things started. First car on the move is a Ferrari. Right, on we go. Let's go spotting. First place always to come and take a quick look then is up here by the Dorchester. Now, we have a Rolls-Royce Phantom just on the outside here. Oh, nice plate. What do we have to the left? Another Rolls-Royce, an Urus. Yeah, tons of Uruses around. If we go this way, one of the disadvantages of a car like this, through a narrow gap, what do we have around here? Taycans are plenty these days. Turbo S in Gentian blue. It's quite nice there as well. Range Rovers, Defenders, Vanquish. Reminds me of my old Vanquish Volante I owned for a while. That's from Abu Dhabi. Bentleys galore. Actually, a ton of Bentleys and another Taycan. And oh, SLS Roadster on the left. Lovely. Taycan Cross Turismo on the right. In baby blue. Ferrari 812 Superfast. We found Supercar Rally, and then on the left we have a Morgan to finish off the run. Yes, literally Supercar Rally. That was quite fun. It literally all happened in one place. Maybach, dual tone, old school Maybach, and Rolls Royce Dawn. Usual London, tons of Rolls Royces. I'd love a Rolls Royce one day. On the right here we have a 911 Turbo S, 991.2 D-badge, no Turbo S badging. Always a nice car to get around with. On the left we have a blue G63, obviously top marks to the owner of that car, specing their G63 in blue. Here we have some of the dealers, Bentley, Bugatti, Ferrari, and I can see some interesting things up ahead as well. So we've got a blue DB11, oh look left, Beast of the Green Hell AMG GTR. Outside Ferrari we have this lovely blue Aston DB11. Inside Ferrari, this is where I'm going to be collecting my SF90. We have a white SF90 and a red Roma. We keep coming down this way, another Rolls Royce tucked in on the left. Rolls Royces aplenty. Away from the policeman. Then we have, oh, DB11, DB11, DB11. Carefully does it as this chap's pulling out. Another Taycan. Taycan's literally everywhere here. And then just around the corner here, look at that Pista Spider. Very cool. Painted shields, black with some red pinstripes. That's a special car. Oh, another 812 Superfast. And a 430 Spider. And up ahead a G63. And further ahead another DB11. And what's on the right up here also? Is that a 911? Yeah, another 911. Goodness me. So what we've learned today is that there are tons of DB11s, tons of 911s, tons of 812 Superfasts, and already some pretty cool cars around. That is a very nice looking R8 Spider, baby blue. Sharing an engine with this, V10. Oh look, I had Mr. Ferrari. Another California T at the Dorchester. Right, anyway, where we're heading is actually back in the opposite direction, because we've heard that the Chiron is there, but that's not the only car that's there, so stay tuned for this. We're following an AMG GT 4-door from Belgium, I think that is. Nice short plate. Let's get a little bit closer. Is that Belgium? That's a pretty good way to get from Belgium to the UK, to be honest. Not sure which engine derivative, but any of them make for a very nice ride. Alright, off we go. This side, we've got a Rolls-Royce Wraith. In front of me, a Lamborghini Urus. If we keep coming down, check out what we've got on the right, just down here. Is that an Abt RS6? RS6R. That's cool, that looks mean. Satin green, French plate. We've got another Bentley Mulsanne. Beyond that, we've got a Jaguar E-Type. Very classy. On the left, we've got a Ferrari 488 Spider. New S-Class on the right. This just goes on, but we need to get to where we're actually going right now. The road was just closed and we had to take a diversion, so let's go around. Yet another Taycan. I think the Taycan has replaced the G63 as the car of central London. First thing we have here is an Alpine. I've never driven an Alpine, and I would love to drive one at some point to find out what they're actually like. Maybe that's one to get arranged. Now, if we go this way, it's where the carnage is going to begin. Road closed ahead, but that is not a problem right now. We've got an R35 GTR, oh, another California, Cali T, and all the Turbo S, 997. Lots of Cali T's today. But up here, oh my goodness, I can already see, we've got a Hyper Trio. We've got a gold chrome Senna, a Chiron, and a Koenigsegg Regera. I certainly need to get this car parked up, and we'll go and have a proper look around and see what's what here. Well, this is not a normal sight. We have three, I think we can say, hypercars in a row here, including this, a gold wrapped McLaren Senna. Now, I've seen plenty of pictures of this, but never seen the car myself. Literally gold. That is very, 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 very out there, that's for sure. Behind it, we have the Bugatti Chiron that we were led to believe was going to be about today, in the black with the orange leather interior. And behind that, we have a Koenigsegg Regera with the lift up at the moment, the front lift raised. 3 hypercars, 3 very different hypercars, all here right now. Oh, look at that plate as well, egg. Super Vettura. That is the epitome of cool. So the Koenigsegg Regera, there are 80 of those. Koenigsegg's direct drive, fascinating driving experience, the way it works effectively with no ordinary gearbox. The Bugatti Chiron, one of 500 cars. This one's actually from Saudi Arabia, over here, with its 8-litre quad-turbo W16. Chiron, just that effortless, easily dailyable, effectively, hypercar. And then the Senna, as we know from mine. Pretty much the ultimate for the track. Setting lap times, performance, 800 horsepower, twin-turbo, V8. Wow. So we've got 1 hybrid at the rear, 2 combustion engines, well 3 technically, so you should count the Regera, but 2 combustion only, non-electrical assistance. I did not think I was going to see a lineup like this today, and I do actually like having those lower windows clear. Mine obviously has the piano black tint, but the clear is such a signature, I think, element of the Senna. It actually lets you see the speaker that it has inside, which you don't normally notice. Gloss carbon against all of the gold pinstripes on that wrap. Little bit mad, little bit mental. It's always interesting to look at other cars and look at other specifications and see what people have gone for and what they choose to do on their cars. This with like the gloss carbon as opposed to mine with the satin navy blue carbon. The Chiron with the chrome Bugatti horseshoe grille, those chrome pieces through the air inlets and the chrome wheels, as well, and of course the chrome C around the door frame, all of that. And then the Regera with some gloss exposed carbon over the bodywork, the roof and the bonnet piece, and the satin carbon for the aero, the ghost package as it's called when they added the additional aero and the flicks at the rear. Of course, with the Regera you can take off the egg panel from the roof and put that away and store it away in the front while driving, which not many of the Targa roofed hypercars can actually manage, so that's pretty special. Back here, the active aero rear spoiler, and these, as I mentioned, ghost package aero pieces. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And down here, by the way, if you didn't know, this is the cooling, effectively, outlet for the hybrid and gearbox and things, and that is your exhaust system. Designed by a Krapovich, those very narrow, unusual exhaust blades, but by making them like this, minimises the impact on the aero, which ultimately means more performance, faster acceleration, and a slipperier car through the air. What an unbelievable little spotting lineup here. In a moment, we will go get back on the road in the STO, but there's also a very nice urban Range Rover here in a lovely shade of purple. But filming on the Insta360 Go2 cameras, they have the pre-installed lens guard to give rugged lens protection. You can also use the Insta360 app to preview and transfer files, plus you can do AI editing using the app as well. For now though, let's go hop back on board the STO, go see what else we can find today. And just down the road is a very nice Aston Martin DBS. These are now nearly 15 years old, the older generation DBS, the predecessor to the Vanquish, but one of the most iconic Aston Martins, one of the best looking Aston Martins ever. Obviously the James Bond connections, but with a 6-litre naturally aspirated V12, and they were available with 6-speed manuals. I think these have only one way to go in the future. I would certainly love to add one to the collection down the line. As a Bentayga cruises on by, there are lots of lovely cars around here, as you would expect, but this just casually parked up, looking lovely as always. From old DBS to new DBS. DBS Super Regera, twin turbo, 312. Sounds good. We have another lovely 812 Superfast, and coming past from the left is a satin yellow Urus. Quite a few Lamborghini Urus, Uruses, whatever you'd like to call it, around town. But a little birdie has again told us of something we need to go check out, which is where we're heading next. On the right, we have a Ferrari Roma in Verde British. Now, if I was ordering a Roma, that would be very high on my colour choice spectrum, and it's really good. Would you believe it? We're behind another Senna, which actually belongs to a friend, this lovely green car, as we go past yet another Taycan on the left there, another Taycan Turbo S. But yeah, 2 Sennas now today. Look at that thing, absolute madness. Yeah, we'll see if we can say hello somewhere. And on the right here is another Rolls-Royce Phantom, as you do. And then obviously in front of us, we will go a slightly different direction. Actually, no, we will go around the block as well. We'll follow just for a second longer. What a crazy day. So many cool cars. And by the way, we heard about, but unfortunately didn't see, a Ferrari F40 that was around earlier as well. So, I mean, Chiron, Regera, 2 Sennas and an F40 in town, all on one day going around at this time of year. That's pretty mad. Anyway, we're going to go left here. Go explore another Rolls-Royce Phantom down that way. We're going to go and explore in this direction. Up ahead of us here on the left is a lovely old Vantage. Those are pretty cool, and the more time that goes by, the more I like them. And then opposite on the right is actually a new Rolls-Royce Ghost, new generation, and Flying Spur, but the new Ghost, which I think is a magnificent car. Another DBS, lovely. That's dirty. That has clearly been driven properly. Oh, and look at this. Aston Martin Lagonda Taraf. Wow. The super valuable, super special, Rapide platform-based saloon that they made. And that Taycan, I mean, colour, I'm going to jump out for a second. I have just heard the noise of what I'm convinced was a 599 GTO. I can hear it in the background, somewhere in that direction. I can no longer see it though. Anyway, this Taycan with the green wheels, goodness me, with matching plates to the Lagonda Taraf, as well as it happens. You don't see many Lagonda Tarafs. I mean, they were originally introduced for the Middle Eastern market, but then they opened them up globally. I did drive one once before with Dan and I out in California. And it is a very nice car, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to comprehend, let's say, the full price tag. It's an incredibly expensive thing. Obviously, Lagonda being Aston Martin's, I guess, luxury brand of old, brought back really with this, with plans. I think they were intending to use that brand name for future electric cars and that kind of thing, but all change with the more recent developments for the company in general. In any case, not a bad little lineup here. McLaren 570 GT. So I think as the light starts to go down, it might bring about the end of our spotting outing today, but I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer, see what else we can find around, because you never know what surprises could lie around any corner. I guess the same most people think probably of what we're driving in, this ridiculous Huracan STO. I've pulled up here with the STO alongside this Lamborghini Urus for one very specific reason. Now, you might remember when I was choosing the specification options on the STO, it was a very complicated process in terms of what you could have with which other options, and in terms of what you couldn't yet have for a fairly early delivery car like this. And one of the options that wasn't yet fully available was to do the factory contrast accents around the car. Is that an M5? Yes, M5 competition, lovely. So you couldn't, at the time I had my car built, have the optional contrast pack on every single car. What you could have were the yellow calipers and the yellow interior stitching and piping. So I went with the yellow calipers, but even if you had been able to order the available yellow Giallo contrast pack, it would actually have been a different yellow to these calipers, because it would have been the Huracan Evo launch colour yellow, as opposed to this yellow. The yellow calipers were of course presented in this spec to match with the paint on the Urus, where they are a perfect match. So what I then did was to choose my accent vinyl, match it as close as I could to that yellow to make sure that we had the perfect contrast against the pink, and ultimately to make it work out and look exactly right. So that's how that basically came to be, and how I ended up making those choices to finish the spec for this car when we did it. And I think it looks brilliant, even though I know it's very out there and a lot of people might think it's perhaps a little too much, but hey, you only live once, and it's a Lamborghini. Absolutely epic thing. We did come around here before, but another Rolls-Royce Phantom and a Rolls-Royce Wraith. It's literally Rolls-Royce land when you're driving around these parts. So today, I think the car that we've seen probably the most of has been the Porsche Taycan. Oh, there's a nice G63 there. I didn't actually spot that when we were coming through here earlier. We have, as always, seen plenty of Bentleys and G-Wagons, lovely things all over the place, but I've been amazed by the number of Taycans, and we've shared a fair few of those, but my word, there have been so many everywhere. Lambo to Lambo, Huracan Evo Spider, V12 Vantage S, lovely. With the light quickly going down though, I think it's time to wrap things up. What an incredible day. We have seen some amazing supercars. And what about that trio? The Regera, the Chiron, and the gold chrome Senna, plus seeing my friend driving in his green Senna as well, and so much more, all while enjoying the Lamborghini Huracan STO. The more time I spend in this car, the more I do enjoy driving it. It is a crazy thing. It stands out a mile away, especially in this spec, but all today filmed with the Insta360 Go-To cameras, using the pair of cameras, so many different ways of mounting them, attaching them, and all of the other features as we've discussed as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Do check out the link in the description down below if you'd like to know more about the Insta360 Go-To cameras. But that's it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!